And good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you are watching from here in the Philippines and from all over the world. And welcome to the RJ Ledesma Podcast. In my podcast, I interview the country's pioneering business personalities and entrepreneurs with the hope of learning about how they think about doing business. What are their success secrets? Can we replicate those success secrets? And how have they innovated or pivoted their businesses during this pandemic? And more importantly, what opportunities do they see emerging in the now normal? And how can all of us benefit from those opportunities? Now, is there a business personality or entrepreneur that you would like me to interview here on the podcast? Please let me know. Let's share his knowledge. Just drop me a message. We are also live right now on Kumu, CBRC TV, Global Pinas TV, and the Bounce Back Network. If you are enjoying my podcast and you are learning a lot from it, please subscribe and invite more friends to listen to the RJ Ledesma Podcast. You can also catch us live on YouTube. Now, before we begin with the podcast, here's a quick shout out to our friends at Vessel. Vessel PH can help you future-proof your business by boosting your digital presence and making sure that you can attract more customers and more sales. If you want to learn more about them, just click the link on my description. Moving on very quickly, very excited about our co-founders here tonight for a business that I understand is almost recession-proof and maybe even pandemic-proof, and that's the business of salons. Now, tonight I'm going to have the founders of Parlon. That is the Philippines' go-to platform for beauty and wellness services. Parlon helps people discover, book, and buy the best salon and wellness deals online, and is the only platform in the Philippines that has over 80 plus global and homegrown salons and wellness brands. To name a few, and some have had them here in the show. Browhaus is here, Strip Emphasis Salon, The Smile Bar, Benefit Browbar, Lay Bear, Basement Salon, Azta Urban Salon, and many more. And they've even partnered up with several super apps like Grab, GCash, and Reserve with Google to promote their services on Parlon. So tonight, I want to welcome Kristine Oncangco and Miko Cornejo. Kristine, Miko, welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having us.
Hi, Miko. Claire, I think you're mute pa. Let's welcome Claire and let's welcome her voice here tonight on the show.
There
you go, Claire.
Hi, good evening.
Guys, thanks so much for joining me over here. And right before we start, for all those who enjoy getting a pamper treatment in their favorite salon or spa, you know what? Before we begin the program, Claire actually has a great promo for everybody listening to the show. Claire, can you tell a bit more about the promo before we start?
Yes, so we have a promo code. It's RJ Ledesma Podcast 200. So you get 200 pesos off minimum spend of 1.5 now until Mother's Day, May 8th. So just go to deals.parlon.ph and definitely you will be able to buy the best and exclusive salon and wellness deals in the country.
Okay, let's leave it there muna. I want to put it back, Clark. Put it back. I want people to know more. Okay, so again, RJ Ledesma Podcast 200 pesos offer. A minimum spend of 1,500 today until May 8th. Visit deals.parlon.ph. Can you mention just a couple of the parlors that are going to be there or the salons that are participating? I know I mentioned some earlier at the introduction, but can you mention a couple of more?
Yes, we have great deals from Asta Browhaus, Strip, perfect for summer, Emphasis Salon, a lot more. Buff Nail Lounge, yes, Benny Bana,
Yeah.
yes, a lot. Hair color, lashes, The Secret Lounge. So for all your beauty needs, lashes, brows, hair removal, beauty treatments for O2 Skin Lab. So we're somehow nationwide. We have some in Bacolod, Wax Covado. For Cebu, we have Kyrie Skin Clinic. And for Pampanga and Pangasinan. So yes.
Wow. I can see Miko's enjoying Browhaus right now services
So
over there.
actually, there's manpering in the secret lounge that's targeted for guys.
Manpering. I like that. What
Yeah.
happens in manpering?
Yeah, they do mani pedi. Yeah, just
Foot
search for
spa.
manpering in the deals. Yes, yeah.
Well, fantastic. Question lang. So, have you gone to Lay Bear just yet, Miko Cornejo, and tried their services for men?
Not yet, but I plan to try all of the things I need to try.
Aha!
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good, very good. You know, I just as an aside before, I used to write a column for the Philippine Star, and I actually did the full treatment where they were waxing at the most interesting parts of the body, and I wrote about it in two-part article. Needless to say, my
Lay
mom was not
Bear.
happy. Yeah,
Lay
I
Bear.
think
Yes.
one of them. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Lay Bear.
my
By the
mom was
way,
not
they
too
have an
happy
wow.
when I
Lay
wrote about
Bear
it. Good.
actually Labor just launched with us a very innovative campaign. So only threading, only underarm waxing for a monthly fee and or a yearly fee. So that's something new in the country. So a subscription for monthly or yearly, and you get to only stuff, even passion nails for nails. So that's a new one. We just launched it like last week. So you
Oh,
can buy that through
fantastic.
Parlon.
And this is the great news, guys. If you're listening right now to this show, let's check it out. This partnership. Let's show them here right now. Miko is showing here Parlon.ph for membership. Labor, they're only
Yes,
membership or
only.
only treatments over there.
Yes.
That's
Uh,
first time.
and here's an interesting thing about Parlon, guys. So again, I was saying that Parlon is the go-to discovery platform for beauty and wellness, and I'm very happy to share that they actually won first place against 9 women-led startups in the local She Loves Tech competition, which is the world's largest startup competition for women in technology. And as I was looking at the panel of who judged them, one of them there was actually Katrina Chan, who we've had here on the show. Our good friends from Cubo were there and judging the show. I want to ask you guys, how does it feel? I mean, Claire, that's not easy. I mean, that's a lot of competitors. And how do you think you stood out over there?
Yes, actually, it was her first time joining a competition, and yes, hard judges, Miss Katrina Chan, and we love how they support Philippine startups. So that's how we felt the love from the Philippines, DTI, Cubo. It was also a proud moment to represent the Philippines in the world stage, right? So and uplift of course, an industry that was hard hit by the pandemic, and though it was not face to face, unlike the past years, I think
Mhm.
they went to Beijing China. I learned a lot. It was so enriching, fun, and we get to network with fellow founders, not just in Southeast Asia, but around the world. And She Loves Tech, the community itself, it's so helpful for women entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go to Miko a bit, our honorary woman over here, Miko. No, I mean, I'm sure you worked together with Claire when they were pitching this program, when you were working through this whole project. I guess, no? Am I
Yeah.
right, Miko?
Yes.
Can I just ask? I'm sure you were being mentored, and there are a lot of lessons that you probably gained. I mean, not just of course, you're being mentored over here. There's both the soft skills, the hard skills about being in a startup. No, what did you pick up basically? What were the learnings that you got as you were being mentored through the process that you want to share also with other people going through the startup process?
Yeah, this is actually a long conversation. I tried to get it down to the actual details. So my background is actually tech. So in tech, you don't really need to talk. So it's a really new experience for me to actually meet from the outside, because usually tech people are, I mean, not to box them, but tech people are usually behind the computers. And I actually saw Claire what even before actually pitching this to all of the salons, all of her salons that actually she's close to first. Obviously, I think she started with the salons that she actually really goes to, and then that's where she got the idea. I mean, that's where we formed the idea of actually what to build. So I guess with any startup or any platform that we want to build, and I don't want to be super technical, is we have to know exactly first the market. We actually also have to know the pain points of everyone. We didn't dive into this like go into code right away. Although as a programmer, you want to do that. It's always like, wait, what's the problem first that we're trying to solve?
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and then is the problem that we're trying to solve really relevant to the actual people that we're talking to? And I guess the industry is really ripe for digitalization. That's what I learned. There's a lot of things, and Claire can actually expound on this. There's a lot of things that we're so used to at the tip of our fingertips, but with regards to beauty and wellness, there's actually not that much. Even
Mm-hmm.
then, we always say like, how do you actually make an appointment, or actually how do you find even how much services are? It's so easy with food. It's so easy even with more complex industries like airlines, right? Hotels. But with the beauty industry, it's just, I think nagpagupit ako last ganyan, and then that's the price pa rin, no? I mean, it's always like that. There's outdated prices. You search for them in Google, you're not really sure. Um, and it's very outdated. So I guess that's the pain point that we wanted to drive. We didn't want to come in full swing with all of the bells and whistles. We just wanted to solve a really simple one to start with, which is a central source of truth for all beauty and wellness, I guess, services. And then that grew into, okay, now that we got them, there's booking, there's deals, all of that stuff. So if I'm actually going, if I may summarize everything, it's just that the industry is really ripe for digitalization, and there's a lot more innovation that we can actually introduce.
Okay, and what it also tells me, as somebody in that startup community, is that it's not always about disruption. It's also about digitalization and centralization that can be done through digitalization. Because we're always talking
Yes.
about, when you talk about especially things like NFTs, it's decentralized finance. But here, actually, this is about centralization of what you can do in terms of services and digitalizing them, so even more people have access to it. No.
Right.
And having said that, Claire, I want to go back a bit. And you were in the She Leads Tech competition, like you said, you were against 9 other founders. I'm sure they were also very, very good. But what do you think made you stand out in particular, in comparison to your other fellow female startup leaders?
I think number one is the very clear point that we are addressing. As Miko mentioned, I started this because I got frustrated. I just want to know how much hair color in this salon, or like the telephone number, or just contact information. It was so hard. And I got frustrated, right? Because we can book hotels, book food instantly through our mobile phones, and shop beauty and wellness products. Shopee, Beauty MNL, Hair MNL, Sephora, instantly we can shop there. But how
Mhm.
about services? We made a survey. How do you book your favorite appointments? Pre-Parlon, pre-Parlon. Most answered through landline numbers, not
Mhm.
even mobile numbers. So I
Mhm.
think that's the number one point. And I think that Miss Katrina Chan, they saw how when we presented, we saw the massive reach to the B2B market. We had, as you mentioned earlier, we're the only platform to be able to gather all these brands. And I did it myself, that first 80. Now we have BDs already, and it was so hard. It's not an easy task to onboard those salons.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I want to talk about that a bit later on when we get into the nitty gritty of actually building the start. Because I like this.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's not the kind of startup where you just say, okay, it's a great idea. You actually had to do, you did the foot soldier work. You were like doing the marine work. You're out there and actually soliciting and onboarding them into the app. No, really great story. Now, after you did the She Techs here, she loves tech over here. You actually had to participate in a more global forum or a more global competition. Is that right? Or regional one? Claire, is that right?
Yes, global, global. Yes.
Yeah. um, I'm sure that there was a lot of learning in that global one where you could see sort of like the opportunity and the gaps for female startups, and I guess even Philippine startups. What did you see? What insight did you gain now when you went to the larger picture? That I'm interested also to find out. What did you see? Uh, uh, where can we still go? And but where can you see that there were points of bright spots for Philippine startups, especially female-led startups?
Mhm.
Yes, for female-led startups. So we're here now for beauty and wellness. I think there are missing piece still for like circular economy, like sustainable fashion. So there are some upcoming already. So there are different aspects like for renting, for fashion, and other circular economy for sustainability. And for She Loves Tech, we widely talked about the like the bias against women, but I'm proud that in the Philippines there are a lot of women founders already and receiving good funding. So yeah.
That's a great idea. And Claire, I hope you don't mind. Sometimes we just have to laymanize or make people familiar with certain terms. What do you mean by circular economy?
Yes. So now the trend now is sustainability. So I think for me, like I'm also teaching in Ateneo. So like yesterday we're exploring what are other gaps. We have good food apps already, right? We have Parlon for beauty. Of course, we have Grab Super app for almost everything. But how about the circular economy means for sustainability, renting out clothes, like renting out laptops for B2B markets, renting out probably music equipment or sport equipment, like those circular things. Instead of buying a new one, why not rent something? So that's how we studied like what are other gaps in the Philippines. So far, Philippines has been great in digitalization, but there are still some gaps, like having those kinds of apps in this world.
And Nico, I want to go to you for a moment, and I hope you don't mind because I really like how She Loves Tech is encouraging female startup
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, empowering them because I want to come to a day that it doesn't really matter if you're male or female. You're a startup founder,
Right.
and
Agree.
that's a great thing, diba? I mean, I want I the other day I was talking to my daughter and she was saying, parang, how come sometimes dad they always make girls last in certain why do they always afterthought that girls could also be there. Sabi ko, that shouldn't be the case, anak. And I want that when you're older, you are there because you're good, di ba? You did a great job. Um, for you, what kind of opened your mind? I hope you don't mind me asking, both from a tech standpoint and participating in startup from a startup standpoint. What did you see differently after participating together with Claire in all these startup events, especially when it talked about female-led startups?
Right. Yeah, I think number one, before we start, I think I don't have that distinction. Plus, maybe also the privilege of being a guy. But I guess I don't have the distinction like, oh, because it's women, it's like that. I guess what I saw with She Loves Tech is regardless of their gender, is that there's a lot of actually really, really good ideas, and actually really more advanced ideas out there. So it didn't really, the she in the She Loves Tech actually is like not even secondary or tertiary. It's actually the last of my mind, because when I was actually listening to the pitches, I was actually listening to the mentors. It's all about love tech for me, because everyone is there is actually good. They just so happen to be women. So actually, we've had participants, or actually we went again participants in other countries who actually won in their countries, and that we also met these people. We were also able to actually talk to them in workshops, talk to them and hear their stories. The tech in not just in Asia, even in the West, like the tech is really, I would say, advanced. um I'm not what I mean by that is we're trying to digitalize something that's um a salon industry. In the other countries, they're actually talking about med tech, some high end technical devices. They're also talking about like plastic turning into something. That's the extent of the tech that we're seeing overseas. And it's very nice to actually be a part of that event, as well as actually another thing, going back to Parlon, because I want to circle it back down to Parlon,
Mhm.
is what we wanted to know is because we're actually automating something that we think, that was my assumption. I mean, Claire may have another idea, but that we think has been automated in other areas. Like obviously, I think in the US, I think you can book online. In other regions like that, we were thinking that this may be something that they would view as a small market, but apparently, when we talk to the other investors, the other people, they're saying like, it's something that other, at least regional countries, also need, because it's not as sophisticated as what we envisioned. Like we were thinking, probably Singapore won't need this solution. Probably but once we got there, it's like, oh, okay, so it's actually we can actually get
We
the
still
regional.
need,
Parang,
yeah.
parang, though I see it more like it's not that it's advanced, but it was overlooked. But that's how
Yes,
I see it. It's more like it
there
was
you go.
overlooked because people didn't see unless you mine. But unless you mine it, you won't see the gold that's over there. Unless you, oh, this is how big pala the market actually is. One more thing before we move on, no, what was I guess both to Claire and Miko, what did you see? I mean, you got to meet all the winners from the different countries. Did you see any common denominators with regard to the startups from the character of the startup, character of the people, the problems that they were trying to solve? What did you find anything? What insight did you gain from talking to everybody else and saying, you know what, I learned something about this person or this startup and about startup or tech in general? Claire, what did you pick up from participating there?
I think as winners, our commonality would be there's no option to fail. We're gonna do this. No matter how hard it is, like for example, Parlon will not even be here if I gave up like being seen zone when I reach out to Instagram. Oh, would you like to be part of Parlon? So I saw that in all the girls and She Loves Tech. No option to fail. And at the same time being passionate with the pain points. And it's not like just a cute tech, like okay, this is a cool tech, but always it's so common, all the winners there's an impact and at the same time a specific pain point that they are addressing.
Great. Miko, what did you pick up from everything?
They're all go-getters. They know what they want. They know there's a lot of work to achieve that, and they can actually articulate every their mission and their goals. Everyone is actually really like hardworking is an understatement.
Wow, wow. So much learning a lot from you guys here right now, and also those people who are interested in actually downloading the Pardon app. Clark, let's just show them where you can download that on the Apple Play Store and the Google Play Store. Is that right? So this is for the Apple Play Store. So anyway, if you're just listening to us, just go to Apple. You can find Parlon, Parlon, and also on the Google Play Store. We're also available there in the Google Play Store. Just look for Parlon over there and check it out. Over 80 plus parlors and salons that are there. So, Claire and Miko, you actually had to pitch this. And, we often tell people, okay, if you're going to give the pitch, why don't you give the pitch here right now so people know just what it's like to give a pitch about their new concept or their new startup. Claire, please go ahead. How did you pitch Parlon initially?
Mm-hmm. So you might wonder, why is it called Parlon? You might know, RJ. Do you know why is it Parlon?
No, that's a good.
Parlon. Okay. So Parlon, it's actually a combination of parlor and salon.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a mix of parlor and salon. I feel that parlor, most of our moms probably they call it parlor. And now actually they call it more lounge, beauty hub. But in our generation, like salon, no. But I want to immortalize parlor, the word parlor. So it's Parlon. So why did we start this? So what is Parlon? So for the consumers, it's a place where we help you discover, book, and buy the best and some mostly exclusive salon and wellness deals online. So for salon side, we help them in their operations for the booking side. So being a marketplace is already an understatement because we're actually creating an ecosystem where we connect also with the super apps in the Philippines and in the world, like uh, GCash soon will launch that. So most of our partners will have their own G Life app inside. For Grab, we partner that. That's first in Southeast Asia for the home service. And also, we're the first Philippine company to partner with Reserve with Google. So all of those, this will be integrated to Parlon Merchant Hub. So let's say the consumer will walk through Google, through Grab, through G Life, and of course, in our app, in our website, they will all go in to the Parlon Merchant Partner Hub.
Wow. And then if you were to explain this to, let's say, my mom likes going to parlors, right?
Mhm.
How do I sort of laymanize it for her, and how can she appreciate the app? Because especially that she is not, as you know, how savvy she is in text, that she asked me to make the Facebook posts for her. I mean, that's how savvy she is. No?
Mhm.
How do we sort of explain that Parlon to them?
Well,
I
mom,
think
just go to Parlon. Just go to Parlon, and you'll get to buy the best deals
yeah,
in the
yeah,
Philippines.
yeah. I think so we're targeting actually two
Mhm.
types of, obviously the B2B, which is the salons, and I think that's what Claire more or less explained. There's a lot of benefits of salons being onboarded to Parlon because they can actually have an ecosystem. They have booking, they can buy, but for the consumers, for me, the actual selling point of Parlon is really deals. That's it. It's like you're going to a deal site, you're buying something for cheaper and more exclusive price. And if you want to discover new deals, you can just go to parlon.ph, the deals at parlon.ph. So two things from a consumer standpoint is I know that I want a haircut and I'll just look for deals there. Or I think I need to pamper myself.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what I want to buy, but I'll just go to Parlon and look for deals there. And it's quite the analysis paralysis because there's a lot of things that you can actually buy. So if you're into wellness, mahahirapan ka. But yeah, that's the point.
Okay, so yeah, so now I'm getting a much better appreciation. It's actually a business to business app. It's also a business to consumer app, and your
B2B
business to
business.
business is with is working together with all the salons, and of course B2C is working to get clients for the salons, right?
Yes.
So, what is the business model when it comes to to Parlon? I'm to my mind, is it a subscription as a service model where basically all the any of the parlors which come on the app have to pay on a monthly basis, or are you getting a commission based from each of the transactions that are being done over here? Please share with us a bit more. Of course, no need to give away trade secrets, but just the basic understanding so people understand. Oh, so this is how you put together an app and how you make money with it.
Mhm. Yes. So there's a subscription fee, but throughout the pandemic, we didn't charge yet. We're waiving the fee for the next month, but we also get a commission for every deal sold.
So
So
it's
So
both.
that's the
that's
basic business model.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Both.
so it's basically it's a B2B it's a B2B software as a service model or SaaS model
Plus.
for the B2B plus commission that
Plus
you get
commission on the consumer.
for every commission that you make over here. So that's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
how the market is growing for you guys. Very very interesting, very interesting. Now let's take a step back now, and a bit earlier on, you were sharing with us really the pain points, and that's really where we start talking about things about what is the problem that you were trying to solve. The most basic question which you get when you do all the when you pitch in any competition. But can you help me give us a better idea? Because some people might, you know, it's an overlooked industry because people go, why parlors, diba? But then help us understand right now just how big the potential is for the parlor market or the parlor plus salon market here in the
Mhm.
Philippines. Oh, how big is it? How many parlors are there? How many people use it? And that's why you see that there's a large potential in this industry.
Mhm. There are 38,803 salons in the Philippines. So
Wow.
that's how big the market is. Actually, that was last year. Sadly, 2019, actually, there were 40,000 plus. In that beautiful industry, they're employing, now it's just 140,000. Hopefully, next year, they're covered. Previous years, pre-pandemic, it was actually employing 150,000 employees. So this is really a good industry for the
Wow.
Philippines.
Wow. And aside from that one, like in terms of the customer base, tell me, would you know a bit more about that, Miko or Claire? How many? I mean, how many people go to salons? How often do they go to salons?
Yes. So salon is really, though it was badly tagged as not essential during the pandemic, but mostly believe it's actually essential. So it's a huge market in terms of beauty and personal care market size. Do you know that Philippines is actually third in Southeast Asia in terms of
Wow.
market size for beauty and 21st in the world. And in terms of e-commerce, we all know that e-commerce during pandemic experienced double growth, like 132%, I think, year-on-year growth from 2019 to 2020. And I think the half of 2021 itself, it overpowered the past years for e-commerce. So this is the really perfect time to do e-commerce. And the untapped market, which is the beauty and wellness services, it's the gap. So we entered here.
Wow. Just want to say hi to Boss Wiry Estosi watching us. Thanks so much, Boss Wiry, for watching us. And part of my group called Philippine Homes. Thanks for watching, Boss. Now, we see that there's a big size for the market, and you guys came into it. And what's interesting, which what I know so far, right? If you can check out in LinkedIn Claire and both Miko, no, but Claire's actually a lawyer by profession, but MIS graduate by her bachelor's degree. Miko, I think you're also MIS. Are you also you're also MIS as well? I guess you were classmates at Ateneo, and that's how you guys met
One
up.
batch, one batch apart.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tell us a bit more. How did this come about? I understand that you were doing IT work, right? Or you had an IT company that you put together, and which eventually led to this one. Tell us a bit more about that one.
Mhm.
I'll
So
start.
yeah.
So our we actually created an IT company while in college. It was more of like started as a racket then because we wanted extra money as students, and then we could continue it all the way after graduation. So we created this um website and app. At that time wala pang app, but website development team. We started that as a company, but we actually started that as us really doing the work, where Claire was the designer, and then I was the programmer. So we actually started like like I guess how we're doing Parlon as well, or how we started Parlon as from the bottom. We didn't start, not that it's bad, but it's I mean, not that, because we didn't have like the capital to actually start hiring. So we did, the legwork first. We built a team, and then come 2019, when our at that time the company is actually running on its own already. Obviously we're there to watch things, but Claire was like, I think it's time for us to make another company. And then I've been really wanting to make Parlon. So Claire pitched me the idea of Parlon. She had to educate me with your questions as well, like how big is the market, because it's another company that we're trying to build. We're going to borrow resources from our company, I mean, from our web development, to actually self fund our journey in Parlon, because we didn't want to ask investors yet. We think that we could actually do it, in house, fund it ourselves. Claire does the selling, I do the programming again, like how we started it. But then we have the backing of our IT services company. So that's when I actually immersed myself with the beauty industry. That's where I actually, searched for, what balayage actually means. Now I actually know that.
What does it mean for the benefit of us who are
Yeah,
ignorant?
yeah, it's about the hair and the color like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so please continue.
Yeah. So that's how, I guess that's how we actually were able to build something, because we have previous and a lot of experience with actually building tech products even before. So it's like actually doing it for yourself is it's just a difference, like doing it for a client versus doing it for yourself. If you're doing it for yourself, you're your own client, and you don't have to actually interview the client. You have it down to your head, and then you can actually start doing the work already. So we kind of have all the background we needed to bootstrap this Parlon.
So technically, it was bootstrapped because you were just using internal resources of the company.
Yes.
That's right. So,
Yes.
and Claire, when you were, I guess no, I want to go back to Miko's story earlier on, because I'm imagining that you felt the urge that you needed to create your own app from the country for Concept Machine that was yours. But was Parlon the first idea that came to mind for you, or were you having competing ideas, or were you really just passionate about doing this for the salon industry because you saw the opportunity?
No, ever since college, this was my idea. I parked this idea for years, like college, law school. Why on earth? Why you can't book online? You can book food already. You can buy everything. Why not salon and wellness services? Of course, I cannot launch it during law school. So when I passed the bar 2017, and okay, 2 years after 2019, we decided we're now like we're our company Concept Machine, we're sufficient already, can stand on its own, and we can, of course, as founders, you need to be hyper focused in startup already. So 2019 was the perfect time to launch something on our own. But to answer that question, since college, since law school, I wanted this app already.
Yeah. I can see that's Miko must have been convinced from years of intuitive research into the into the salon
She's been
industry.
dropping
Appreciation.
hints even before we started Parlons. Like, I want something that's for beauty. Mga 2012 pa lang, 2013 pa lang, she's already dropping it. So
Okay,
it's not a surprise.
she was planting the seeds already there for you. Now, how do you start it off? I'm just curious. I mean, I understand how you can start it off from a coding and programming standpoint because you're quite there. But then, Claire, to actually go out and start onboarding salons on your
Mm.
concept, because of course, parang bineta test mo muna yan, di ba? Before the product's actually there, right? How do you start onboarding salons to say, I mean, technically, who are you, di ba? Who are you to come to me and then and make me part of your app? How did you start convincing these salons, especially since these are traditional salons, they aren't really tech savvy companies, di ba?
Yeah, so I started with my favorite salons. So I pitched during my salon sessions, like literally while they're doing my hair. I just brought a brochure, no app yet. I want to list you. I need to list your service menu. I can't find it online. So like for example, I started with basement, with emphasis salon, with Browhaus, with strip, and everything follows. So of course the first five, I think it started with like the salons I go to, and of course, I cannot stop there. There's only like less than 10 salons I go to in my life, right? So after that one, I did the cold calls. So I tried searching for interesting salons and, of course, cold calling, like sending in Instagram and literally door to door, like going there. Can I ask the name of your marketing supervisor or marketing manager? And can I ask for the email? And I've said this so many times. I've been seen zoned a lot. Like, you'll cold call your cold pitch. And the difficult part is, unlike food industry, food tech, you can like easily refer, oh, it's like Food Panda. But now the challenge is we're somehow the first, like for salon and wellness services, coming from a traditional standpoint, right? It's hard to explain what you are building.
Wow.
But we're
And then,
here.
uh, and you started building it in 2019. When in 2019 did you start building this?
Mhm. So I think I started approaching salon March. Then we were able
Okay.
to launch like July, like with 20 salons.
20 salons. So great. You got 20 salons in, you launched already. Um, During that period of time, right, when you were putting it up, and of course all startup owners go through this one. Was there a point where it came to you na parang I don't think I can do this because you're doing you've got concept machine running and you've got your law work going. You go, okay, I can just give this up. It's too difficult. Did those points ever come to you while you were trying to get this app going, trying to bring people on board? What was that point for you?
Yeah. Yes, there were sad moments, especially if you're seeing zone, like they won't respond if just to be onboarded. But as I mentioned, there's no option to fail. I just eat ramen, ice cream, and just rise up again and approach a new salon, another salon.
And how about you, Miko? Because they pitched the idea to you. So how were you like? Were you? I mean, I could see the passion coming from Claire because it's really an idea that's been with her since 2012. But how about for you? How was it like for you when you know riding aboard? You weren't too sure how the app would go, but syempre partner mo yan. How was it like for
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat my answer. What we talked about was we'll start developing and we'll start allocating resources once there's interest and initial traction. Which means that we're not gonna start, coding without initial signups. So
Okay.
Claire, that's why Claire was saying that she was selling it without anything yet, without even a beta.
I
We were
see
selling
now.
it with
Okay.
a brochure like that. And then once she says, "Oh, my 20 na ako," and it's like, "Okay, then I don't have it. Like, shut up, and I'll make na. That's it. I'll make the system. I have a lot of material to see because then, from a programming standpoint, you don't want to just be, you just don't want to be focused on one. If you have 20 use cases, then actually you can see a lot of, I don't know, you can actually program and to make it scale. So that's how we approached it. She sold first, brought home 20 clients, and then we programmed.
Wow. How was it like when you got your first salon partner on board and you could see the app there? How did it feel like for you, Claire
And
or
For
Miko?
me,
okay, well, actually, we celebrated the launch by actually launching in Rice
right.
conference in New York. I know, sorry, in Hong
Hong
Kong,
Kong, Hong
in
Kong,
Hong Kong, in Hong
Hong
Kong.
Wow.
So
Kong.
we joined the startup conference in Hong Kong, and then that's where we
Rise.
launched
You were in Rise.
Rice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, Rise.
2019.
Okay.
2019.
Yeah,
Akala ko you got the mani pedi, Miko. Eh.
it's I don't know, it's normal.
And then, Claire, how was it like when you got your first client who booked over here on the site? I'm sure you should still remember your first client over here on Parlon.
Yes, I jumped for joy and encoded. I myself encoded the menu. And one of the first with the basement salon emphasis Browhaus trip. Until now, they're still our valid, like your valued, very valued client. So yeah, very exciting. And that's the beginning. Like once you have, I always tell this to my students. Once you have that like first five, it's gonna be harder, but it's the start.
Very happy for you guys. But now the reason I was asking why it went in 2019. So it was early to 2019 when COVID was still not too much not in our radar just yet. And all of a sudden March 2020 hits. That's all of us across and you know,
Right.
I'm sure it impacted all our businesses. What happened with you guys with Parlon, and how did you guys adjust? Of course, we know what happened, that nobody could go to salons, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
nobody could go to food markets like mine, right? So what did you guys do for how did you guys uh,
I'll
how you
start
guys
this.
initially affected, and then how you initially affected, and how did you, I guess, pivot or adjust to that situation? Please, Miko, go ahead.
I'll tell half the story and then Claire gets the nicer one. So so 2020 was when the pandemic happened, right? So when we launched in 2019, all the site was just really a catalog. So there's no transaction yet. It's just more for people to view. So if I wanted to go to, let's say, for example, see the prices of the 20 salons, it's there. So there's no money generating transactions yet. It's just more to get into the market and actually say, okay, we're live, and then we can use that to sell to more clients.
Mhm.
Obviously, when the salons, when pandemic started, things halted because then salons started to close, and then they're not in any way, I guess, the talks of us actually onboarding salons actually stopped. The sad thing there is actually we were actually about to launch March because it was at the pandemic. We were about to launch booking. That was the platform that was the
Mm.
function we were developing already. So let's say we launched in 2019 as a catalog. We were developing our booking, and then right then we were ready to launch and pilot booking March, and then the pandemic happened, so it had to stop. So Claire's gonna explain what she did on on the messaging side, but on the tech side, that's where we actually gathered the team, and then we beefed up all of the things that we actually wanted to create without any like with full force, just because the pandemic is there, and then we have all the resources in the world to just actually pour and create. So we wanted, like, once the pandemic actually stopped, we wanted to have the marketplace, we wanted to have the e-commerce, we wanted to have the booking, so which actually juiced up the platform. And then once November came in, we like bam, we're actually much bigger tech wise than we were a year ago, something like that. So Claire can actually explain the non-tech part of it.
So basically, we're able to accelerate the development of the. You took time to develop to work on the. I mean, like a tech guy, he was spoken like a true tech guy. You
Yeah.
spent the time just to do acceleration and create the
Yes.
app over there. Okay, but knowing that, no, I hope you don't mind me going a bit more into that one. You spent, let's say, between March to October or November developing the app. But how about the, I guess, the financial runway? Was it did Concept Machine have enough of the, I guess, internal resources to do that one? Did your other clients continue to use you during that time, so you were able to continue uh, working for them and producing and accelerating the development of the Parlon app?
Yes, Concept Machine is still there. So, of course, we needed our own money also to fund all these because it's not just about tech, right? So yeah, Concept Machine supporting Parlon, and at the same time, what we earn, our savings, and what we earn also from Concept Machine, some we pour into Parlon as well. So that's
Wow,
why it's kind of self-funded.
so you bootstrapped here. So you literally bootstrapped yourself. So it wasn't just the use of resources of the company, but your own. And I know
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
guys, I
yeah.
feel you there. I feel you there exactly, where you both use company resources and personal resources, especially during the pandemic, to keep things going. And I have to say, bravo to you, Miko, if you put in your own money there as well to make sure this work. Kasi bilib ka kay Claire, kung ganyan.
Yeah, and I believe that's the idea, and then the platform we created.
Oh, great. That's really great to hear. And Claire, what did you have to do during that time? I'm sure you're going, nakatiwangwang yung idea. Technically, nakatiwangwang eh, di ba, if you think about it during that time. So what did you guys do for Parlon from March to November?
So yeah, I clearly remember that time Miko mentioned March 2020. We were about to launch our first e-commerce and booking stint, the Women's Month. So
Mm-mm.
we all know what happened in like March 14, 2020. Everything stopped. So okay, close agad that booking and e-commerce. So okay, we thought that pandemic will stop. Okay, 2 weeks lang to, 2 months lang to, 3 months. Then
Yeah, yeah,
apparently
yeah.
two
Oh my
years
gosh,
na,
yeah, I
right?
remember.
So, like, we're waiting for the perfect timing to launch everything, like, our team is building in terms of product wise. And number one problem with the beauty and wellness industry, we cannot make noise like, uy, magpasalon ka, mababash ka, because it was tagged as not essential. But what we did during 2020 and 2021, but sabi ko, but we cannot be silent. So what we did in Parlon is share the beautiful stories of the salon owners, how they survive and thrive. So we launched our online magazine, Glow Getter.Parlon.ph. So I myself like this kind, but not live. So I interviewed salon owners and create long form articles for them. So those stories usually highlight food, right? Restaurants suffering, but not salon. So we lend the voice to what's happening with the salon industry. So we waited for that perfect timing to launch. So sabi ko, nako, October na or September, ba kailan ba talaga tayo magla-launch? But sabi ko, November 2021, finally. No, we need to get this product out already. Ang dami nang nagawa ng team nila Miko. So finally, bravely, November 2021, we launched the Beauty Festival. First online beauty festival for the Philippines. So we started selling deals already. At first, I thought, hala, baka walang sumaling salon. But apparently, we were able to gather more than 20 salons. They're very excited to join the beauty festival. And sabi nga nung iba, Claire, baliw ka ba? We don't know yet if magla-lockdown ulit, But sabi ko, no, at least we end the year bringing back the glory to the salon. And i-warm up na natin yung mga tao 2022, magpaganda na tayo. So, there, starting November, we started monetizing already and started selling deals, and lahat ng nakatagong product and features nila Miko, linabas natin noong November 2021.
Wow. And just right now, after, I guess, how many months, maybe 6 or 7 months of you guys actually running since November 2021, can you just give me an idea of how many people have transacted on the app? How many deals have been made already so far?
Yeah, of course, thousands have transacted and maraming excited magpaganda. So there's this beauty revenge also. So good deals is now we're actually expanding, accelerating. More deals are coming up. So what you see now in Parlon, that will definitely double, triple, or probably hopefully times 10 in startup world, right? Especially now that we just onboarded our BDs. I'm not alone now already. Before, diba, I onboarded that the 80 salons now where I'm with four girls plus one social media strategist helping me spread the word. Like that program nila Miko, that product, it will be it will not do justice if walang mag-champion yan. So now the BDs, they're watching now, they're doing great, and so far I'm filled with meetings, new salon. So
Wow.
from 80 definitely it will increase.
I want Miko, what is the most, to your mind, what is the best feature that you were able to do that's pretty unique, or medyo something that you can really be proud of when it came to the Parlon app?
Can I say already? Not yet, eh. But there's one feature that I wanted to say, but it's still in development. I think I am not able to say it.
But sige, from
GCash?
Ano? G-Life? Ano?
Yeah.
Yeah, sinabi ko na kay RJ. So one of the things, so we launched Grab and yung the partnership with super apps, right? So GCash, Grab, we partnered already for that, for home service. And this May, we will be launching a big thing with G-Life and GCash. Probably Miko can tell you more about that one.
Yeah. So what's fun is actually we're able to actually integrate with a lot of like the super apps and what Claire's saying. So we integrated with Grab, and we're also integrating with GCash. So it's different use cases, like with GCash, and you can go to G Life, and then it's not yet there, but we're going live, and then you can see individual brands and salons, and then you can buy inside GCash Parlon deals. With Grab, you can go to Grab Mart, and then you can go salon services, and then the salon will go to your house, something like that. So
wow,
yeah. So it's home service. You can it's like buying food lang in Grab, but actually it's like you're buying haircut, and then the stylist will go to your house, and then so that's
fantastic, and it's different because before, I guess it's the age of collab when you can really say to yourself now, okay, I can work with Grab to help me create this Grab salon, because technically before you'd say I'll develop everything myself and I won't work with people like that.
Yes.
But now this is actually like in my own experience, I run Mercato, right? And for Mercato we have a Mercato hybrid cloud kitchen. And for that hybrid cloud kitchen, instead of saying I'm going to do all the delivery myself or take care of everything myself, we're working with actually Grab to create to work together with their own Grab kitchens to build a larger network. But that's one of the things that came out right now, that out of this pandemic, the trend is that nobody's really a competitor nowadays. It's sort of like you gotta. There's always nice ways to come up with strategic collaborations, strategic partnerships, moving forward. talking about moving forward, you did say that you were bootstrapping. And for people who are not too clear on the term bootstrapping, that just means that you're using money out of your own pockets to fund things. You did say offline when we started talking that you were bootstrapping plus you had some angel investors. Are these angel investors family, friends, yun ba yan, loved ones putting their money in, or they're actual people now you don't know, or just acquaintances who put money in already?
So they're friends, and they're friends, but actually they're putting up fund. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell the name already, but they've invested to like more than three promising startups already. So yeah, so friends, then
A
eventually they're
small
putting up a
fund that
fund.
we're friends with, basically. That's what.
Great.
Yes.
And so you're still doing angel investors. Will you be what's the goal for you next, Claire? Do you plan to enter an incubator for you guys? Do you start startup incubators? Do you plan to get Series A funding or pre-Series A funding to further grow your business, or do you plan to still keep it just use internal funding or what you have right now to grow the business?
Of course, our dream probably internal funding will not cut it. So we're planning to raise funds before the end of the year or probably Q1 2022. We want to validate it more. And of course, this industry is somehow unique because it just like came alive again. So like we're just buying more time and probably raise funds. Yeah, we've been in touch like with VCs already. We've been meeting people already. They're like watching us already. So hopefully we'll get to raise funds by the end of the year or first Q1 of 2023.
Okay.
Not forever
And
bootstrap.
forever bootstrap, I know. And my wife just coming in right now. She's looking forward to checking out the great deals that she can get from Parlon. What's the deal again, so that she can overhear lang? What's the special offer we have over here? So for people who want to get, again, the promo code is RJ Ledesma Podcast 200. You get 200 pesos off on a minimum of 1,500 spent until May 8th. Just visit deals.parlon.ph. Now, uh, like I said, no health, well, wellness, or like beauty and wellness. No, your industry, it's a growing industry. I'm sure from with your perspective, you're seeing things that are happening from a macro and both a micro perspective. What do you see are the emerging opportunities, Claire, in the beauty industry, where entrepreneurs can still play in? And what are also emerging in terms of this new sort of like e-commerce ecosystem for beauty that's emerging as well, that might become big in the next couple of years. What are you seeing, Claire?
Mhm. So for Parlon, so we started as a marketplace. As I mentioned, now we're in an ecosystem like connecting not just in Parlon, but with multiple apps. Next level would be, of course, we're studying this more. You know this, RJ, like the startup world is all about validation and checking the market. So we're like in that ecosystem already. Probably we're aspiring also to be a fintech app for beauty because one of the things like payment, accelerating payments, and probably our Grab. So like I want to consolidate all the beauty and wellness purchases in one app, like through a fintech, beauty fintech. And probably one more, again, we're still studying this. One the Grab would be probably our entrance. If you have dark kitchens, cloud kitchens, probably next would be dark salons, cloud
I
salons.
love that idea. Wow, that's
Yeah.
a fantastic idea. That's a really great idea. Cloud salons, di ba?
Yeah.
Or online salons. No need for people to, you can just offer the
Yes.
best service as
Yeah.
possible, create a cloud salon, and just
And
send them
then just
over to your house.
yes.
Wow, that's great. I think that's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. Wow. Miko, what are you seeing as well as opportunities that have been emerging here?
Yeah, actually, I'm very happy that Claire mentioned fintech because I'm again on the tech side. I'm excited to actually code and make technical integrations with a lot of like payments. I think Claire didn't mention. I mean, it's like Parlon Pay is something that we're really thinking about, like consolidating everything and thinking about like a digital wallet for anything in beauty and wellness. And then you can actually have points, you can actually have cashbacks. All of that stuff are still in the drawing board, but very very excited to actually get into that.
Wow.
And we're
And
regulated by DST. We have an
Yeah.
OPS license, by the way. Yeah.
I'm sure you made sure that attorney Oncangco before we started getting into this one. So it's great you got IT na tech pa, di ba? Abogado pa. So
Lawyer.
great combination over here. Now, it's been quite a wild ride, I guess. No, from college to concept machine to putting up Parlon.ph. There are many people who are going down the same road as you right now, or have gone down the same road as you. what can you share with the other entrepreneurs and future business owners listening here right now? Maybe some life and business lessons that you can teach them so that they can hack their way towards success and they don't, they don't stumble as much as you guys did, so that they can stand on your shoulders. Claire, for you, what are the three of the biggest things that you picked up that you want to share with people as a result of your own entrepreneurial journey?
Mhm. So back in college, we had an article in Entrip magazine. Laway at laptop lang ang puhunan. No, of course we have this beautiful education from Ateneo, but back then, it's literally we squat in Starbucks. Katipunan, we didn't have office back then. Laptop and laway lang ang puhunan. But so I think one of I think three lessons would be resourceful, be creative, and appreciate your education and your skills. And probably number two would be don't easily give up. As I've said, if I just got sad when I got sing zone, there's not gonna be Parlon here now. And probably last would be delayed gratification. Of course, it's not always instant win. It's not like an instant hit for an app or a website or for any business, right? So you learn and scale, and probably be humble enough to acknowledge learnings, and probably just rise up again and apply that learning for the next day.
Bravo, great learnings from you. Miko, what are your own learnings?
Yeah. A lot of learnings. I don't want to actually be to advise other entrepreneurs because I know that they're on the same boat as well. But I guess like what I can say is that I hope that other entrepreneurs as well, that I actually really found what I'm made of, because it's really really a rough ride. Entrepreneurship, there's a lot of weight you're carrying, just because there's a lot of factors, there's a lot of stakeholders. I realized that what's hard, 5 years ago, that's just like it's harder down there. It's always harder. Like it will just really really make you stronger all the time. So what I'm gonna say is, I guess, ano, kapit lang, fight it. You're gonna really know what you're made of. Just keep pushing. And the other thing is, I do not want to discount the presence of opportunity. I don't want to say luck, but I guess like good opportunity coming your way, and actually making the most out of that opportunity, because there are a lot of really really good, I don't say like breaks, but really really good instances where we saw that as oh wait a minute, let's make the most out of this, and then it grew into something. So just watch out for that in along the way in the journey, because it can actually explode.
Yeah, watch out for those little, you know, side streets that might turn into an actual opportunity. I guess that's for
Yeah,
many of
yeah.
us, right? I remember before when we were talking with Roland Ross of Kumu, and
Mm.
you know what? When their financial runway was almost gone, and the app was running, and they figured out that the live streaming portion of the app, the video portion, was the most important one that people were looking for. And then when they made that pivot at the last point, that's when the app started to take off. And that's really some of the big learnings that we often get as entrepreneurs. But like you said, now just keep at it, and if you're passionate about, and if you retest yourself, you see how far you can go, and from there, if you're passionate about it, just like Claire was and is, you're gonna get somewhere. And again, thanks so much for sharing your story here, guys. Let's just show them one more time. If you want to get Parlon right now, all you have to do is just go on the Google or Apple Play Store. You can download them over there on Apple and Google Play Store. And one last time for those listening, sayang naman yung promo natin up to Mother's Day. Let's show the promo one more time. RJ Ledesma Podcast, 200 pesos off for a minimum spend of 1,500 today until May 8. Just visit deals.parlon.ph. Again, thanks so much, Attorney Claire and Miko Cornejo. Good luck with your own entrepreneurial journey. Looking forward to you guys becoming the next fintech for beauty in the next few years. Again, this is the RJ Ledesma Podcast. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.